So, good morning, or maybe it's afternoon. I think it's actually afternoon now. My name is Anna Florence Crawford. I am your host for Healthy from Head to Toe. And today I am so excited to welcome my friend Jo Heather Dodson here with us. Thank you so much for being here with us, Jo Heather.
I'm so excited to be here.
Thank you. I'm so excited to have you here. And Jo Heather and I met, I guess, several months ago, or I don't know, has it been a year yet?
Probably has been, yeah.
Time gets away from me. Definitely. But probably about a year ago, we met in a business meeting, a networking meeting, and we just connected. We have several things in common and just connected. So I'm so happy to have you here with us today, Jo Heather. And Jo Heather is going to share with us about mindset. And those of y'all that saw my little live video yesterday, I just did a little short video introducing Jo Heather. I talked about mindset, and that is so important. Jo Heather, I know you would agree with me that whether you're in business, you're just a mom, like whatever in your life, mindset is just like huge.
It is, and I'm excited to be a new member of your group, Healthy from Head to Toe, because when we talk about mindset, we start at the head, right? Healthy from head to toe, and our mindset really affects every area of your life. Whether, like you said, you're a stay-at-home mom, you're a retiree, you're a busy entrepreneur, professional, you're just an individual, kind of joining this group and curious about more. So I can't wait to dig in with this today.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. And congratulations. I think you and your hubby just celebrated an anniversary. Was it 14 years?
Yes, 14 years. Praise the Lord, I'm excited. We're still happy, So we're very blessed. We don't take it for granted. And some of that has to do with us making a choice. We made a choice when we came into this relationship, and we both said, okay, ups, downs, no matter what, we're committed. And so, that's part of the reason we've made it, is we both set that in our mind. We were going to do it, minds and hearts, soul, spirit kind of thing. Yeah.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
And y'all have 2 boys, I believe, if I remember correctly.
We do. I had 2 grown stepdaughters who are out and on their own. And after we got our youngest off to college, we had the Lord's calling. We're people of faith, and we felt the Lord calling us to adopt. And we adopted 2 brothers. They were 4 and 6 at the time, and what a journey that's been. And mindset was a major part of that, because my husband had been a parent, I had not. We had to go into that knowing there was a whole lot we didn't know. Yeah. And I had to walk into the situation and just recognize I had to come in with, a mindset of I'm ready to learn. I know I need to be different. And I know that I'm now presented with resources to help me get there. And so that's when I was already very much curious about mindset, that I started kind of digging into it and finding out more.
I'm so glad that you shared that, because mindset is so important. And, I've learned that through the course of time. I'm a big self-improver. I'm always reading like self-help books, reading my Bible, trying to learn new things. And like you said, mindset is huge. I was sharing with Jo Heather right before we started recording that in my direct sales company, that's what a lot of my training has been on, is not here's how to sell whatever product, but it's here's how to get your head in the right space. Here's how to be aware of what you're doing. And Jo Heather, I remember when we talked the other day, and I'm going to look at my notes to make sure that I say this right. I remember we talked about, you mentioned there's 2 different kinds of mindset. There's a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. Do you mind talking to us a little bit about that and telling us what's the difference?
Absolutely. What's interesting is my sister is a teacher in the public school system. Okay. And we were talking about things one day, and she said, oh, Jo Heather, that's growth versus fixed mindset. I said, what does that mean? Tell me more. And so the neat thing about it is a fixed mindset is just that. Okay, I have my innate talents and abilities that I was born with, and this is it. It doesn't get any better. I can do it or I can't. I'm good at it or I'm not. It's a fixed right? And see, when I was a kid, this is the thing that comes to my mind right now, is I was not good at math, and I decided I would never be good at math. And so that was a very fixed mindset, not good at math. And I actually, now that I'm doing more and more research into mindset because of the job that I do, and having adopted kids and wanting to be like you, a person who's invested in personal development, you know, I didn't realize how much I carried that fixed mindset into my adulthood. And it wasn't just about math. It was about when I was a kid, oh, I wasn't an athlete. I can't play sports. I cannot play sports. And I carried that. Well, actually, that was just this fixed. Maybe I didn't have the natural, but skills can be cultivated. Skills can be grown. And that's where we get into growth mindset. The growth mindset is the acknowledgement that maybe I'm not naturally gifted at math, but if I put some work into it and I keep walking forward and I decide, oh, let me walk forward in this, I'm going to do the best that I can with the skills that I have right now and cultivating more. That's growth, giving yourself an opportunity to experience something, and we'll talk about this more in a minute, experience something, fail, and then try again. It doesn't mean I can never do it.
That is an awesome point. And, in this group, I'm very transparent. I'm pausing for a minute because this is very difficult for me. I don't want to say to be transparent, but I'm more of a private person, and I usually keep my thoughts more inside. But when God called me to start this group, I'm not going to say I argued with him, but I was like, I'm not good at technology. How am I going to even figure out how to do this? And I just kept praying about it. And he's like, I'll help you. And then I began to think about people that we know in our business groups that are good at technology. So I started calling them, hey, so-and-so, I know you're doing an online thing. What program are you using? Or can you help me? And people, were like, sure, try this, try that. And then, I've just Googled. And you're right, it went from being that fixed mindset of I'm not good at technology to, you know what, everything's figure outable. God called me to do this, I'm going to figure it out. And you're right, it's just so different. Like, it's just opened my mind to think about, and I didn't even realize consciously that I was doing that, but I was just telling myself, I can't do technology. What am I thinking?
Yeah.
But you're right, it's all in what we tell ourselves.
It really is. And it's, I think, a lot of our life starts out with us leaning into those natural talents and abilities. And then we get so comfortable leaning into the things that come easy for us that we go, oh no, that's not my area. I'm not going into technology because I'm leaning in over here. And that's why I think it's awesome that today we're having this conversation so people will actually have words to define, oh, this is my mindset. Am I fixing? Am I in a box that has four sides and I can't move out of it? Or is this growth where, oh, I can push the boundaries of this box. I don't have to stay in a box. Who needs the box?
Exactly.
I've got resources. I can call on people who understand technology, who can give me guidance. It's exciting when we can realize I can sort of exhale, drop the chains. And I, like you, I have a person of faith, and I adhere to the Christian faith. And there's a scripture in Philippians. It says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Yes. And it says all things.
All things, yes.
It didn't say the things that you're good at, Joe Heather. It says all things. And of course, I'm leaning into the faith of the strength. If somebody's watching, they may lean into something else, right? But for me, I've got that assurance. Okay, maybe this isn't your natural gift and ability, is math. Because it's still not today.
Yeah, math.
It's still not today. But yet I've had to come to understand, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I, run two very different businesses out of my home. And is math a part of that? Yeah.
I'm sure it is, because for me it is too.
It has to be. You have to balance checkbooks, and you have to pay bills, and you have to do estimations, and all these things. And so I literally, as an adult, I had to go, wait a minute. I've got to stop telling myself that story. I've got to drop away that fixed mindset and move into an area of growth where you can grow, you can do personal development, you can move forward.
That is awesome. Yes, I totally agree with that. And same for me with math. That has never been my strong suit. And for years, that's what I told myself. I'm not good at math. I'm not good at math. And you're right, now as a small business owner,
Mm-hmm.
math is part of running a business. And you're right, you have to learn. And so thankfully, God put a dear friend, Janet, in my life that is good with math.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's helped me, like you were saying, reaching out to those people that you know. She's helped me come up with some simple steps and simple ways to do that. Math's still not my favorite thing, but now I don't feel totally intimidated by it like I once did. So you're right, it's all about that growth. Um, and as I shared about this group with the technology, I remember some days I go on my walks, and that's usually when I'm thinking, when I'm praying, and I actually journal in my phone because it seems to flow out while I'm walking. And so I remember one morning journaling, okay, this afternoon we got to figure out how to do XYZ because I needed to learn how to do the technology here. And that afternoon I figured it out. By the grace of God, I figured it out. So the next day, my journaling was me kind of affirming, I'm so proud of you. I know this was hard for you, but we figured this thing out, and that's empowering. Because this, like you said, we tend to lean into those things that are our strengths. And now I'm excited to learn new things, even though it's out of my comfort zone. I know I'm growing.
Yes, absolutely.
Great point.
Absolutely. And it never stops. That was the thing. I think when I first started thinking about mindset, I thought, oh, once I overcome this, I'm just there. I'm just there. But actually, that's not the case. For me, I went on a health journey in 2019.
Yes.
And it's too long to go into. Maybe we'll come back some other time and dig into that. But I went on a health journey, and it was a lot about, because mindset is about the belief, is about the belief, kind of my identity. And so I had taken on this identity of, I can't lose weight, I can't be healthy, it doesn't work for me. I exercise, but I see no results. And you hear all the negative there. It's negative, negative. And that was a fixed mindset. I had gotten trapped within it without consciously being aware of it. And I was working with a life coach at the time. I still do. I'm a coach that believes in coaching. And so, just kind of saying that, is that really true? Is that really true? You can't do it? And so just to even question that. And so I started on that journey in 2019, pulled on resources. I had a nutrition coach, I had my life coach, working with me to change my mindset. I went from a fixed mindset to a growth, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. So here I am, a year and a half later, and I just, in the last few weeks, have realized I was slipping back. I was slipping back into some of those fixed mindsets that I had held before, and I had fought through, clawing my way out of. And I was sliding back into some of those health mindsets of, oh, well, too bad for you, you can't. Mm-hmm. I am not able, all these negative. And that's usually if somebody's sitting here and they're listening and they're going, Joe Heather, I really don't know what you're talking about in terms of mindset. If you hear yourself saying, that's not my gift, I can't do it, I tried it once and it's not for me, I'm better over here. Well, you have to decide, okay, is that where I want to be fixed? I want to stay there. Those phrases kind of indicate where you are. Or is this like, wait a minute, that's limiting. It's called a limiting belief, right? It's limiting me. And so just recognizing it. And now I'm going back, I'm going, wait, I have the voice of experience. I have walked this path before. I have a growth mindset. I am into moving forward. I don't have to stay in this fixed place. So, I have other stories too. I mean, when I started looking at this, I was like, there's so much that's fixed in my life. And I was so shocked by it when I finally saw it.
Well, it's like you said, Joe Heather, I think it's just being aware of that, because I can totally relate with the diet and exercise because I kind of feel like that too. Like I've been on a roller coaster the last couple of years. And you're right, a lot of it is mindset.
Mhm.
Um, I remember in 2013, I lost about 35 pounds just by eating healthier. And it was so funny. It's kind of a surreal moment for me. I remember I went and did a presentation for my business, and I had this dress on, and I thought, wow, this dress looks great on me. I look great. And so I did the presentation. Well, my husband and I went to lunch. And while we were at lunch, I went in the bathroom to wash my hands, and they had a full length mirror. And when I looked in that mirror, I still thought that I was larger. And when I looked in that mirror, that dress was just hanging on me like it was too big on me. But in my mind, when I looked in my mirror at home, I still saw the bigger me. And I
Mhm.
mean, and it was like a surreal moment because I'm like, wow, this dress is almost too big for me now. But in my mind, looking in my mirror at home, I see what I've always seen. And
Yeah.
that, it's amazing how our mindset really plays into that. And that for me was a surreal moment. Like, wow, what I perceive as reality and what really is actually two totally different things. And it's all in
And
what we tell ourselves.
it is in what you tell yourself. And with my kiddos, I'll talk about homeschooling just a little bit
Please
because
do. Yeah.
this past spring, I I started the quarantine homeschooling with I can't do this. I am not skilled. I am not an expert. I don't know what to do. I mean, it was just hammering in my mind.
Hmm.
And my children, um, I couldn't figure out how they learn. I don't even understand how my kids learn. I was like, I was in the complete negative, and we really floundered in that. And it was whose fault? My fault, because I just got overwhelmed. But praise God, again, I worked with a coach who kind of helped me through it and said, wait a minute, is it really that you can't do this, or that you're choosing to stay in a state of overwhelm? Yeah. Ooh,
Wow.
ooh, a choice. I have a choice.
Mm.
And who is this about? For me at that moment, it's about my kids.
Hmm.
And how did I need to show up? And I don't know, for those that are parents out there, you might have already figured this out. It took me a while as an adoptive parent, kind of jumping in the middle there. Um, their attitude feeds off of mine. And if I come
Hmm.
in a state of panic or in a state of overwhelm, they move into that state. And so setting my mind to go, okay, I haven't been a homeschool parent before, but I can figure this out. I can pull on the resource. It's the shifting of the key of the mind, shifting into growth. And for my kiddos who, like me, I'm not good at math, I can't do it. I always say, let's rephrase. And so that's a tip I'd share with everybody today.
Oh, that's a
When
great
you catch
idea.
yourself, rephrase. And so math is the perfect one at our house because we all kind of are in the same place with that, where math is too hard. I can't do it. And I go, wait, math is hard, but we can do it. You can do it. It is hard. I'm not pretending it isn't, but you can do it. So the rephrase of math is hard, I'll keep trying. Healthy eating is hard, but
Mhm.
I can try, keep trying. If you say, I can't make healthy choices, well, is that true? That's fixed. Let's change it. Making healthy choices isn't easy, but I can do it.
I love that. And, I think so many times, and I'll go on that last one you said, the healthy choices, maybe we eat that piece of cake and then later we feel guilty, like, why did I eat that? And a lot of times, especially as women, we'll beat ourselves up for it when instead we could say, yeah, I ate the cake. That probably wasn't the best choice, but you know what? For dinner tonight, I'm going to make a healthier choice. You're right. It's kind of reframing it and thinking, okay, this is this, but we're going to, it's thinking ahead. Yeah.
It's thinking ahead, because if we kind of focus on the present moment, yeah, I can't change that I ate the cake. And I did eat cake yesterday. I was at a celebration and I was chowing down on that cake. And I got home, I had the same thing, and I was like, why did I eat that cake? I can't believe I ate all that cake, And then I went, let it go. I had to let it go. And so, and say, well, what can I do next? So I've made different choices this morning because of my experience yesterday. And I woke up this morning going, it's a new day. And you can even do it in the middle of the day. That's the big thing about healthy eating, is like,
That's right.
just choose something healthy for the next thing that goes in your mouth. Pick an apple next instead of the bag of chips, whatever it might be.
Exactly. And I also wanted to comment on what you said about the kids. Joe Heather, you hit the nail on the head with that. When I was teaching, I saw that the way I came in the morning and the way my attitudes were, that affected my kids. If I came in and I'm like, oh, I'm tired, I saw that mirrored almost in them. Or same thing, if I come in, hey, we're going to have fun today, we're going to learn something new. They were like, oh, what are we going to, like they were energized and excited too. And so it does. I mean, and we, a lot of times as parents, or, I'm not a parent, but I have nieces and a nephew, they mirror what we're doing and we don't even realize it.
Right.
So we have such a responsibility as a parent, or, as a person in that child's life, because we can really make an influence on them. And like you said, by getting our own mindset right, we can actually help them.
Absolutely. And it can go to, people in the group like this, your peers, colleagues, family members, friends that you're close to. If we model, I tried that in my business and it was tough, I might do it different next time, rather than, oh, I tried and failed, I'm not doing that again. Those sound extremely different. And so one is a fixed mindset. I think you can identify it. And one was the growth mindset. The main thing I guess I want folks to know today is, you have the ability to choose. And there are ways that you can do that. You can have the ability to choose how you show up and how you engage with the world. And they're vastly different from one another.
That is absolutely true. So, Joe Heather, I'm just kind of, and I wrote down some notes, so I'm just kind of looking over my notes. This is awesome. I love this conversation we're having about mindset. Is there anything that we haven't talked about mindset that you feel like is important? Do you feel like we sort of covered everything?
Yeah, well, a couple of things, and I know I'm just so excited about this. I know I'm going long, but I just love talking about it because it's so fascinating to me. But some of the things that I want to share from both my business experience and my life experience is, if you can get underneath something and create an awareness about it. We've talked a lot about self-awareness, because that's where you have to start. And I like to describe it like a radio dial. That station is playing whether you're tuned into it or not. And if we aren't aware of ourselves, we need to twist that dial a little bit, take a little time to self-reflect and to recognize, ooh, I do keep sabotaging myself because I have a fixed mindset about my health, or I have a fixed mindset about parenting, or I have a fixed mindset about what is my life like in retirement. Okay?
Yes.
Until you're aware, you've turned the dial and gone, ooh, I didn't know that station was playing like that. Right? We got to be self-aware before we can make a different choice. Then in that, whether it's health, finances, family, how you show up with family, whatever it is, decide what is your identity in that. Do I believe I'm a healthy person? Do I believe I'm a good parent? Do I believe I'm productive in my retiree years? What's my identity? And once you decide what's the identity, then it's all about the process, the little steps every day, the little things that you choose that create and move you deeper into that identity. My husband was talking about a gentleman he went to high school with. They were both runners. My husband was a short distance, and this guy can kind of do anything. He's in his mid-50s, and he's running 7-minute miles. And my husband's like, how's that possible? How is that possible? And I said, you know what? He has it in his mind. I'm athletic. Doesn't matter what my age is. This is who I am. And he lives into it every day, because my husband sees his post every day in Strava or whatever the health app is. Every day he's out there living it.
Wow,
Well,
that's
whether ours
amazing.
is physical or mental or intellectual, whatever, you might be dealing with, are you living into it every day? And are you focusing on the process, not just the outcome? Like, oh, I need to lose 20 pounds. Okay, well, you lost the 20 pounds. Who are you now? And what did you learn in it? And what's your identity? And how do you carry it forward? So there's, and the fact that I was saying, you don't just arrive and say, I checked the box, I'm done.
Exactly. And I think a lot of times we think that, oh, when I get to here, I'm done. But that's a good
Yeah,
point
I mean,
too.
it's ongoing. And I think that's the part that I have been grappling with is there's been some mindsets, you hear me sigh there. There's been some mindsets I've been working on for many, many years. And I keep thinking, I've arrived. And then I have to remind myself, no, it's not an arrival, it's a journey.
That's right. That's what I have to remind myself of too.
Yeah, it's a journey. You're not just one and done, check mark. So I just want to say, be encouraged and be willing. One of the things about a growth mindset is being willing to try and fail.
Yeah.
And failure is not the end. Just try and fail. And then, like when I work in the coaching element, and I think about it, I go, okay, I tried that, didn't work, but what can I learn from it? Oh, I learned this nugget. Now I'm going to try again, and I'm going to do something different. And what can I learn from that? So it's the ability to have what I call safe to fail experiments. It's okay to fail. Try it, fail, learn what you can, try again, try it a different way. And so just encourage everybody out there. You can have a growth mindset no matter what your age, no matter what the topic area, what you're trying to deal with. And it's worth the effort. I think it's worth the effort. I have such a sense of freedom now that I'm throwing the boxes off. And I'm still finding them, buddy. They're there. They're still there. But, one at a time, I'm looking at these boxes. I'm going, I don't want this box anymore. I'm choosing to throw the box off, that fixed square. I'm throwing it off, and I'm going forward, wanting to grow every day.
That is awesome. I love that. And when you were talking about failing, the person that comes to my mind is Thomas Edison. And
Yes.
someone once asked him, about how many times he failed. And he said, I don't look at it as failure. I look at all these times I figured out what didn't work.
Yeah.
And so I went back and I said, okay, this didn't work. So let me change this. And I mean, were it not for him, we wouldn't have light. So, he just said he figured out all these ways it didn't work. And then he finally figured out the way it did. So I love that.
Yeah. And he changed the world.
He did.
And if you do that and you focus on, you can change your world, whatever your world is in that sphere of influence, those people around you, you can transform your transformation will invite them to transform and say, gosh, it is okay to try and fail and try again,
That's right.
And, it's all about getting back up again.
It is. It is. And that is the thing. The direct sales company I'm in, one of our mottos from our founder is that we fail forward to success.
Oh, that's great.
And I love that, just that mental picture of falling. And you think about like an infant when they're learning to walk, they walk a little bit and they fall, and mostly they're falling, but they keep getting back up. They keep trying. And then finally they start walking. And so I think about that too. It's all about, if you're falling, that at least means you're taking action and you're moving in the right direction.
Yes.
So,
there is, I'm trying to think of the exact quote, but it's kind of like if you don't shoot for the moon, you'll miss it every time, right? It's the same thing. If you don't get up and try, yeah, you're going to miss it.
Yeah.
But if you keep getting up and trying, falling off the bicycle. Remember riding a bike, learning?
Oh my goodness,
those of you that learn to ride a bike.
I don't know how many times.
How many times did I fall off the bike? But now, I can get on the bike and I can ride. It was worth it. And I actually use the bicycle story a lot with my kids because of their age now. They're now 9 and 11. They can actually remember learning to ride the bike and falling down. And when they say sometimes to me, I can't do it, Mom, I say, what about that bicycle? Do you remember that? You used to say that about the bicycle, and now you ride like the wind. They're like, well, You're right about that. So that's another thing is remember, make a note, whether you keep a journal, you mentioned journaling on your phone, whatever is important, whatever, if you like to write things down. When you have found a nugget, something that you're like, wow, I overcame, I was an overcomer in this,
Yes.
write it down somewhere, because there's going to be a day that you've fallen into the fixed mindset. You're like, oh, I can't do. And then you can look at that and say, wait, I did it before, I can do it again.
I love that. And that's exactly what I do. The other day, I was having one of those days and I got my phone out. I went back through my journal and I was looking to see from the time that I started this group back at the beginning of June to where I am now. And I'm like, holy cow, so much growth has happened. And, it's just amazing. And so you're right. Sometimes we need that whether it's on our phone, whether it's written down on a piece of paper, we need something where we can go back and look and go, wow, I feel like sometimes, we feel like we're not accomplishing anything. And then you look back and you're like, wow, I really have from where I was just even a couple of months ago, or even a few days ago, depending on what we're doing. So
exactly. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you. Yeah, this was fun.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing. And like you said, to me, mindset is just so key. As you mentioned, whether we're trying to lose weight or get healthy or trying to get our finances healthy or, relationships healthy or whatever, mindset is kind of the key. As you said at the head where it all starts. And so thank you so much for sharing that today with us.
Yeah, it was fun. I love talking about it. I find it quite fascinating because I'm still learning every day.
Me too. Me too. School is never out for the pro, and yeah, we can all learn something new.
That's exactly right.
Most definitely. Well, people, our group here, community, y'all are watching. If what Joe Heather said, resonates with you, or you're like, wow, I'd like to maybe chat with Joe Heather, feel free to connect with her here in the group. I've already asked her if that was okay. And Joe Heather, you mentioned it's okay for them to private message you on Facebook too.
Absolutely. I would love it. Yeah, I'm here. Ping me. We'll chat for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing some of your expertise with us today and just some real life examples, from your family and just different things to help us here in the group. And we appreciate you so much coming and sharing with us today.
Well, thank you, Miss Anna. I had a great time. It's a blessing to be with everybody.
Well, thank you. We are blessed to have you here. Thank you so much. Hope you have a great day.
Thanks. You too.
Thank you. Okay, y'all take care.